You just visited the border. Can you describe for us what you saw?
I did, Ashley. Thank you for having me. I saw a disaster that's taking place on our border that's only going to get worse over the next few months. We went, the Texas delegation, there were probably 13 to 15 of us from the Texas delegation went down there. We toured with the Customs and Border Protection, the Border Patrol, the Texas Public Safety, the Texas Troopers, and the Texas National Guard. We got a thorough tour of everything. We went to the Donna facility, went out to Carrizo Springs, to the HHS facility, and what I saw was just unbelievable. I saw a facility, the Donna facility, that's made for 250 people. 250 people is the capacity of this facility. It had 5,700 people packed into it. People were packed in like sardines. They were literally laying across the floor. You could not see any floor between them. You couldn't put one more person in that room without stacking somebody on top of somebody else. And what I found out later on yesterday, whenever I went to the facility at Carrizo Springs, where they get a lot of these people that are coming from that particular facility and elsewhere, is that 20 to 25%, they get, upon arrival, 20% of these people coming in are COVID positive, 20%, and 5% become positive during their stay there. So 25% of these people are COVID positive, and they're being pushed out into our communities.
Well, and in a scenario like that, Congressman, it's impossible, is it not, to stop the spread of COVID?
It's absolutely impossible. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, the Biden administration has been pushing for it, and they're starting a new push now for a new mask mandate. They're talking about vaccine passports. They're talking about potentially locking people down again, and simultaneously the hypocrisy of what they're allowing to happen on our border. Why don't we require them to have a vaccine passport, for crying out loud? We are going to take a step back in this country with our progress. We've worked hard for a year all over this country, particularly in Texas, to make sure that we can get people back to work and back to school. We've vaccinated people, we've tested people, we've social distanced, we've worn masks, we've done everything we needed to do to get our lives back in this country. And it's about to be taken away from us again because of this crisis on the border. And I'm telling you, I can go into a lot of detail. This is not the biggest tragedy that's happening down on the border. You should see the criminal element of what's going on down there. The trafficking that's going down there. President Biden is literally the trafficker in chief right now. And I can go into that if you want as well. But that's another tragedy that's happening on our border right now.
Well, it's no surprise, and what is the surprise, I guess, is that the Biden administration blamed the Trump administration for all of this when he went and, regardless of the fact that he signed and undid everything that President Trump had done to secure the border. I just don't understand.
Well, this is what he did. President Trump, put policies in place that protected us. And President Biden, his main agenda from day one was to go in and appease his far left, his Marxist base, and undo anything and everything that President Trump touched, no matter how good it was for the U.S. population, for taxpaying citizens. And this is an example of that. They recklessly went in and just completely undid all the stuff that President Trump had put in place to stop the incentives to stop these people from coming over. And you can go, I talked to these immigrants yesterday, these 15 to 17-year-old boys, and I said, we asked them a variety of questions, and one of the questions was, do you know that the policy changed whenever President Trump, did you know that President Trump wasn't president anymore and that President Biden was president? And did you know that the policy changed? And they immediately were like, yes, see. I mean, right off the bat, they knew that this is what drove them here. They were told that now you can come. President Biden is president. Now you can come. Get up there as quickly as you can and get in.
Very quickly, I want to get back to COVID issue. You're very much against COVID passports, are you not?
Absolutely. This is just another attempt of the U.S. government to remove some of your personal freedoms. This is where it starts. If they can get people in this country used to giving up their personal freedoms, they can come after everything. They can come after your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights. They can come after your religious freedom. It will not stop. This is total Marxist ideology that's taking place in here. It's unbelievable that we're going down this path on so many fronts right now, but this is one of them, and this is something that cannot happen.
One more for you, Congressman. You're on a roll. You say President Biden is unfit for office. Make your case.
Well, look at him. I mean, you can tell. We need a leader that inspires confidence, not only in the American people, but among the other leaders in this world, so that we can maintain our status in this world and we can maintain our national security. He does not do that. He looks frail. He looks weak. You saw him stumble going up the steps the other day. He oftentimes doesn't know where he's at or what he's talking about. He doesn't know the issues. He can't finish sentences. He's got some issues. These are some issues that happen to a lot of people when they get older. Some people do okay. Some people can live to be 100 years old and be sharp as a tack. Some people start losing their cognitive ability in their 70s. I think he's in that latter group. I think that he is in cognitive decline right now. Unfortunately, he's the president of the United States right now, but we need to see where he's at on this. His medical team needs to step up, and they need to do a physical exam on him, and they need to give him the cognitive testing that I gave President Trump. The press and the medical community demanded that I test President Trump cognitively. We did. He scored 30 out of 30, and they should do the exact same thing for President Trump or for President Biden. We need to know, is he cognitively fit to be our president?
All right. Congressman and Dr. Ronny Jackson, thank you, sir, for joining us today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.